music ease my lonely. Hey. I've been up since I don't know way. Trying to create a vibe. Trying to get these hours in. Punching the clock, I get it. Gotta go hard with it. 100, I'ma start with it. Coach looking for starters. Hop in the game, I'm like Harden. Ballin' harder than Spalding. Ballin' harder than Spalding. Yeah. We put in this work and notice. Early birds don't do much chirping. She sing my catalog, I said I'm proud of them. She sing my catalog like la 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 la.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and other humanoids out there, you're listening to the Information Man and Lion's Den. Let me remove that. Let's get into this right now. Put myself on there as quickly as possible, and as well with my man, Lion's Den is in the back with me. So let's get him on here as quickly as possible. Just like yesterday, we come back to hit y'all with a part 2 version of everything. And then let me stick that in there. That's a little bit of a logo. I'm going to play around with that, see if we can get that kind of situated to the best of our ability. Let's see how we can do that here. So we're going to move that. Let me see. We're going to move that around, get Lion's Den situated where he needs to be. Bam! There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again. Last night, we mystified you with the conversation that we had about Boulder, Colorado, and what was happening in Boulder, Colorado. So we come back to give you a brief update on some of the things that we have discovered. Now, I discovered an article that I'm going to read, which has, my estimate, has contributed to the situation that happened in Boulder, Colorado. I have an article here from truthout.org. I'm going to talk about what's going on with the conservatives in the NRA, what they have engaged in ever since this shooting happened just yesterday. Let me make sure that Lion's Den is there. Lion's Den, are you there, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Feeling real good, man. Real good. I'm glad that you are here. So yesterday, you really had a lot of information. You had been following this story in Boulder, Colorado with the shooter. There's been some additional information. Now we're finding out. So where are we at now, Lion's Den? How many people are pronounced dead? Any information, additional information that you've been able to research today?
Yeah, it's been confirmed that 10 people have been confirmed dead, including the Boulder, Colorado police officer. Along with, there's been reports that his family was the shooter was originally from Assyrian descent, who come from the country of Syria. But they've been, the media downplaying where that he isn't white, he's Syrian, and blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, info that the latest information that I have is that yes, 10 people confirmed dead, including the Boulder police officer, and still that the suspect, the shooter, has a Syrian name. I can't pronounce the name at the moment, but yet it is kind of a weird name. But at the end of the day, it's been confirmed that that this is a guy who was of Syrian descent. But he's an American, but his family is originally from Syria.
All right, but that's very good information. But let's put some more icing on top of the damn cake here. It was reported, just as I had suspected yesterday when we had the conversation about this yesterday. What did I say, Lion's Den? I bet you're going to find out that he was mentally ill. Right? That he had trouble. Come to find out, the family is saying this. Everybody that knows him is saying that, he had mental health problems. He had a situation when he was in high school. He was on the wrestling team, I think, something of that nature. He got kicked off the wrestling team. He got into fights in school, that he was a troubled young man. The family has accounted that he was troubled. They knew there was something dangerous going on inside of him, and then all of a sudden, he's got all these guns, we're now finding out, right? He had an arsenal of guns. Okay.
Right.
So it gets back to what I was saying yesterday, my brother, is that you always find out that these type of guys that meet that profile of being guys that are unstable, there's always someone in the family or someone in the community that knows that the person is off their rocker or they're not stable or whatever it is, whatever it may be. The point I'm making is that these kind of individuals are the ones that continue to get their hands on guns, while you've got politicians like Ted Cruz today, that coward, the coward that left Texas when people were freezing in Texas. He decides to get on a trip to go to Cancun, and then he turned around because he got busted. And so he gets up there today talking about, well, we can make a legislation here and there, but it won't make any difference. See, the Republicans are quiet. You don't hear anything coming from them. And the one that opens up his mouth is the one that needs to shut up, because the people of Texas need to vote him out of office when they get their opportunity. So he tries to minimize it. We're not talking about taking guns away from people. We're talking about making sure that people like that character doesn't get the guns, as I said yesterday. Okay, so you already got out there in the atmosphere, Lions Den, people pushing the narrative that, oh, they're trying to take our guns away. Now, I'm going to read something to you, an article. It's in truthout.org, folks. You can find this. I'm going to read an article. I'm going to go over an article to tell you what contribute to this situation in terms of the gun laws in Colorado, what weakened it. We've got people coming in the chat room. Let's shout them out. I appreciate everybody coming in. We got my man Tag Hicks. We've got Back to the Basics in the house. Who else do you see, Lions Den?
Basically that we got Tony D in the building, and that's basically it so far.
And we got Heavy Do is in the house. Thank you for being here. Tony D's in the house. Everybody's in the house. I want everybody to listen to me. I'm going to take my time reading this article or going over the article, and then I want to get Lions Den opinion and everybody listening in the chat, everybody listening in all the social medias. Let me say shout out to everybody listening on Periscope. Let me say shout out to everybody listening on Twitch. Shout out to everybody that may be listening on YouTube, if Lions Den has his YouTube turned on. Shout out to everybody that's listening to me on my Facebook page. People that are listening to me in 100% Real Talk right now, which I'm administrator of that page. People that are listening to me on the Video Club on Facebook as well. Video Club group. Everybody out there who is tuning in. People that are listening in Twitter proper. Wherever you are in the world, time zone, thank you for being here. Now, I'm going to go over this right now because I think this may make people's mind blow back. We've got What's Up, gentlemen. Everyday People has come in the house. Peace to you, everyday people. Appreciate you being here. Okay. Let me go over this right now. This is the NRA, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know that after this incident happened, the NRA, they made a tweet. And they text, and all their tweet was the Second Amendment. After the shooter killed 10 in Boulder, Colorado, all the NRA, the National Rifle Association, could do was tweet the message of Second Amendment. So they're already, as I said yesterday, Lions Den, getting ready to get involved, get into their manipulation. Now, let me go over this as efficiently as I can. 1 week prior to the shooting at Boulder, Colorado grocery store on Monday that left 10 people dead, the National Rifle Association, the NRA, was celebrating Colorado's judge ruling that ended a ban on assault rifles. Lions Den, I'm going to mute you because there's some back sound, brother, but stay with me. So they were celebrating a Colorado judge decision in ruling to end a ban on assault weapons in that same city where the shooting took place at the store. Then hours after the shooting took place on Monday, this past Monday afternoon, The conservative gun rights organization appeared to rub salt in the wound of grieving families by sending out a tweet, which I just mentioned, with the text of the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. The Boulder City assault weapon ban was passed in 2018 and had been in effect until early this month, when Boulder County District Court Judge Andrew Hartman, I wonder if he is a conservative, just wondering, Hartman ruled that it was incompatible with a state law passed in 2003 that forbids municipalities from enacting ordinance that go against the state standards on gun ownership. The ban had restricted the possession, sales, and transfer of assault rifles and large magazines, opposing up to which would penalize you up to about $1,000 in fines, 90 days in jail for those who violated the law. Okay, the city may appeal the ruling to the state Supreme Court, although it is unclear whether it will or would be successful in doing so, ladies and gentlemen. In 2006, similar laws in Denver was upheld by the appeals court, the appellate court. Upon appeal to the state highest court, the Supreme Court deadlocked in a 3-3 decision, with one justice of the court attaining results in the appellate decision, and Denver's ban remained in place. The NRA has applied Hartman's ruling for being written in a way that will make it even harder to overturn should the city appeal it. After this situation took place, ladies and gentlemen, the shooting in Boulder this past Monday, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't even know this. I don't know how many of you out there realize this. This was the 7th mass shooting. This has been in the last few weeks. There's been other stuff going on that we didn't even know about. So this is the 7th mass shooting to take place in the past 7 days. 10 individuals were killed and several injured at the King Scooper grocery store just miles south of the University of Colorado. One suspect, after being injured, they got his butt. We already saw that. We already know that during the shooting, and has since been identified as a 21-year-old Ahmad Al. His name is Ahmad. I guess he's Middle Eastern or what have you. Though no motive is known at this time, police officers said that the shooter used it's a familiar weapon that we already know. He used a AR-15 style rifle, per report by CNN. Previously, the style of rifle in mass shootings across the country have resonated widespread calls to ban assault rifles. So most of the mass shootings in this country have occurred with people using the AR-15 rifle. And people have been calling for that rifle to somehow be banned, or something needs to be stronger and stringent in the background checks. Activists, however, contend that passing new legislation banning certain types of guns is not likely to end gun violence or incidents such as these. Writing, but this is true. Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there. I think I've said just enough. Let me just read this right here. In 2018, so let me see right here. I'm gonna stop right there. I think I've said enough. Let's bring Lyons Den back in, get his opinion on what I read, and those that are listening to what I had just read, I hope you were able to hear me. Lyons Den, everybody in the chat, everybody listening in the stratosphere of streaming tonight, What are your thoughts about what you just heard me read?
I'm I'm not surprised, Info. I'm not surprised. I already knew the NRA is going to get involved in all of this and downplaying what happened in Boulder, Colorado, with he claimed the lives of 10 people, including a Boulder police officer.
Tell the truth.
And they just they're trying to bend the arms of politicians.
Tell
That's
the
what the
truth.
NRA is trying to do. They try to bend the arms of politicians so they can say, well, let's not jump into conclusions. And so we're not going to ban the assault weapons of the AR-15, which, in my opinion, was the most dangerous assault weapon in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to be for military purposes, but some foul citizens start buying AR-15s, and people talk about, well, this is just hunting. Well, obviously, how are you going to use an AR-15 for just hunting? It doesn't make sense, Info. And I'm just being honest that the NRA, I told you before, is one of the most powerful lobbyists in the country. And like I said, this is the same old song. They're going to try to keep using politicians. The NRA going to put the back of politicians, including Ted Cruz, because Ted Cruz reportedly was a member of the NRA. That's mainly the reason why he's speaking out about this.
Right.
He's
right.
a member of the NRA.
Well,
But go ahead, Info.
The NRA is the most powerful lobby in this country. They have the politicians lock, stock, and barrel, and they have the Republicans locked up because the Republicans, for the most part, they represent a lot of people who believe in the Second Amendment rights. So a lot of their constituents are gun-toting type of people who enjoy having their guns. And like I said last night, we're not talking about taking people's guns away, but let me read what Ted Hicks said in the chat room. He said 41 Americans have been shot in the past week from mass shootings and killed. It is hard to keep up with the carnage, but this is the norm in the United States of America. Well, it's been a norm in the United States for America since very day one. America, and no, people may not like me saying this, but America is a very violent country. People have very violent tendencies here, and we have Heavy Dew who's come over saying hello from Dallas and welcome here. It's good to have you here. Lions Den, this is the thing that catches my attention the most, is that the National Rifle Association, on a day that people lost their lives, they put out what I thought was a very insensitive tweet on Twitter.
Right.
Which I thought was that, I mean, when people lose their life like this, you should show some type of form of reverence. And they showed no reverence. They showed no respect by putting that tweet out. And what is the purpose of putting out the Second Amendment constitutional? What's the purpose of that? No one is talking about taking anyone's guns away. I mean, they've been saying this for decades and decades. Nobody's gotten their guns taken away. We're simply saying there's got to be a better way to deal with people who get their hands on guns like this guy and many before him. And we've got the Republicans, the NRA, who's been greasing their palms for years. They're putting out, I thought was a very insensitive tweet by putting that out. What point are you trying to make? We already know that there's a Second Amendment right. That's part of law. Nobody's changing that law. And the only way for that law, the only way that they can take your guns away is that the Republicans would have to agree with that. The Republicans are not going to agree with that. So this is nothing but fear mongering by conservatives. They said that they thought that Bill Clinton was going to take guns. They thought that Obama was going to take the guns. Nobody is taking the damn guns. Okay, we look at all the shootings that we had in the past like this, and people who have guns still have their guns. So, what I'm trying, the point that what I want everyone to know the most is that one of the things that made it possible for this guy to have his guns is that they changed the law by Andrew Hartman, who was a judge, who changed it just a few days before this happened. And like I said last night, I don't know if this guy got his guns illegally. I'm willing to bet he got his guns legally, and they just didn't do a sufficient background check. Last night, as a reminder to everybody, I played a video, and in that video, they said that the gun restriction laws and the time that you have to wait to get the gun legally, that Colorado has relaxed the laws, that there's things that they're doing that they're not doing that they're supposed to be doing, which is allowing people to get certain guns legally. The AR-15 is killing a lot of people in mass in this country. Something has to be done about this. I'll stop there, Lions Den, if you want to touch on anything. Okay, I'll wait for him to come back in. I'll read people's he just popped out. I'll read people's statements that they're saying in the chat. So let me see. We got back to the basics. She says, I don't condemn violence at all. We got my man Ted Hicks, who says no remorse. No remorse. They don't care. That's true. They don't care. Now we got back to the basics. She says they need to enforce the laws already on the books in some states. Right. I agree with that. And then we've got, however, Ted Hicks says, however, there is a different perspective, as I said last night. Dems are in control of the legislation and executive branch. The Dems can actively make a change. That's if they have the will to do so, Ted Hicks. That's the question. Do they have the will? So, Lions Den, what I was trying to say to you is I wanted to get your thoughts on how this judge made certain changes legally, which actually might have helped this guy to be able to do what he did and getting the weapons that he did. I don't know. I'm just bringing that up. That might have made a big impact. What do you think?
Well, info, and you know what? This just goes to show you how the criminal justice works. You know, when you bend the laws from a certain group of people that are interested in buying semi-automatic weapons, and even though in some of the states like Colorado and here in New Mexico, they're here are lacking gun laws. So you have lacking gun laws, you can easily get an AR-15 or AK-47 or M16 like that, or military style type weapons. You can get it like that. And the problem is that, you know, depending on what color a person is, you can get an automatic AR-15 if no matter what. Depending on what color you are. Now, for you and I, info, we get an AR-15. We get questioned. We're gonna say, why are you buying an AR-15? Are you buying this for hunting? Are you buying this for blah blah blah? So you know, it shows you that how the justice system works for a certain group of people, and for the other group of people that decided, oh, if you want to buy an AR-15 and blah blah blah, and then like you said, and then plus they don't do background checks. Let's make it even more easier for people like the shooter in Colorado to get weapons like that.
Right. You're right about that. Let me put something back on there. What about the fact that let me see here. I'm gonna move that over here, put that up there like that. Move you over here. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Lions Den, what about the fact that I just think I'm gonna say it again. I just think it was insensitive for the NRA to put out that tweak. I think it was insensitive of Ted Cruz, a guy who needs to shut his mouth after he did what he did, leaving Texas when people were freezing out there to death. I wanted to bring this up because I think the Dems are going to have an uphill battle, even though Ted says they have the executive branch. They don't have full control of the Senate. There's sort of a split
Right.
between them. Let's not get it twisted. Let's use some sense here. They got the House. They got a little bit of a partial power in the Senate, but it's more like they got half and half. All right. They don't have a majority in the Senate. So the Republicans could still try to, stalemate the Dems in trying to do something within that Senate. That's why, if you notice, a lot of things that Joe Biden has done so far has been mainly executive orders. Executive orders. Now, he did pass the stimulus, right? They were able to kind of push that and nudge that. But check this out. To show you that the Republicans still have a little bit of juice. Joe Biden wanted to put in that bill originally a $15 minimum wage. Joe Biden wanted to put in that bill originally the exemption for college students, and the Republicans were against it. So they made the Dems take those two items out of that bill. So much for so-called they got the power in the Senate. If you got all that power, why would you take two important things out of that bill? $15 minimum wage, as well as exemption of debt for college students, since we're always saying that, the young are the future, right? We say it all the time. It's laughable to me. People say it, but do they really mean it?
Well, Info, I'm going to respond to what you said about the NRA and in the tweet they sent out when you talk about the Second Amendment. The only thing the NRA care about is the NRA. Their job is to make money. They don't care about other people's lives, the people that lost their lives. They only care about is buying weapons and getting money off of it. That's all they care about. They basically don't have the sympathy of the victims' families at all, who basically lost lives yesterday. And then by sending that tweet shows you how cruel and insensitive the NRA really is. And as far as Ted Cruz goes, just like I said before, Ted Cruz is the only reason why he said what he said, like I told you earlier, he's a member of the NRA. So he's going to say what he's going to try to defend or try to deny. Well, let's let this thing play out. But at the end of the day, you're one of them. So the thing of it is that why should we listen to Senator Ted Cruz anyway? He's a member of the NRA. And it also shows you, Info, that they're so insensitive, because the thing of it is, what if, God forbid, anything happens to their family members? Will they change their tune? We don't know. We don't know if they're going to change their tune or not. But the point I'm making is that they up there try to talk trash, talk about the Second Amendment and whatnot. But yet they making money off of people buying guns and weapons. And yet people's lives were lost yesterday, and they don't give a damn about that. That's too insensitive.
Right. Let me say something too. Ted Hicks in the chat room, he made mention that one of the problems is that you have a Democrat, I think Joe Mitchick, I think is his name. Joe Mitchick. Let me put this
Manchin.
up. Yeah, Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin is kind of like what do you call that? He's kind of like a
blue dog Democrat.
Yeah, blue dog Democrat. Yeah, they're Democrats, but they're really conservatives. Let's just be really honest. He was one of the ones that sided with the Republicans. He's more in the middle, in the middle type of guy, more conservative type Democrat. I don't understand why he just doesn't go over and join the damn Republican Party. Because he acts like a Republican, he talks like a Republican, he barks like a Republican. And you know what's funny about this too? I was reading an article that here's a man who wasn't in agreement with the stimulus package. Guess what? They say this man is worth millions of dollars. He's rich. Matter of fact, a lot of those members that are in the Senate, from what I understand, are quite a few of them, those Republicans that were against that, they're rich.
Facts. Yeah.
They did. So while they're telling you and me we don't deserve a stimulus, they get to go home to their 4-car garage, to their mansions, to their nice chandeliers, their wine and steak dinner and all those sort of things like that. And we've got Edwards. Edwin, who's just come in. Let me put their message on the board. Thank you. They're saying hello from Los Angeles. I want to say thank you for coming over, listening to Information Man TV. I got my main man, Lions Den, on tonight. We're just doing a follow-up to the show that we did yesterday. And I was reading before you came in that the NRA is already putting out their propaganda right now about this is a Second Amendment issue. They're trying to take our guns away from us. And that's not certainly at all what I think people really want to do. There's some people who want to do that, but I don't think that's the issue. The issue is we got to figure out a way to keep the gun out of people like this, out of this man's hands. That brings me to this issue that I got to bring up, Lions Den, and this is just the truth. This is just the pure truth.
Tell the truth.
We've got a serious issue in American society. People have a serious thirst for violence, for guns, but not just that. We have a serious mental health issue in American society, and I definitely can talk about that. That's what I do for a living. We have a serious problem. This country does not do a great job of really tracking people who are unstable, who are living in society, who can actually get access to the gun. His family knew that he was unstable. So I got to look at his family with a side eye and say, wait a minute, what was y'all doing with this man? We have a problem. And I think that's another part of this component, that why are people who have a clear documented history of mental health problems, why do they continue to be the ones getting their hands on these guns? And they're getting them through legal means, okay, let me say, in most cases. And why is this continuing to happen? And what is the breakdown in our society when it comes to dealing with people with these mental health issues? That's what I would like someone to answer, or either bring some opinion to. Let me see what Heavy Dew is saying. Heavy Dew says America needs anger management. I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, and again, y'all, this is basically also showing you that the background checks is so important, because we don't really know if the people that buys the guns has mental issues already. And even if they do have mental issues, we need to let them try to avoid them from even having a gun in their hands, because you don't know what's going to trigger a person automatically and decided one day, oh, okay, I decided to go shooting at someone today, and the next day it happened. So it's important for people to understand that with the lack of gun laws in some states, and people don't do enough background checks on people who had suffering from mental issues and everything else, they basically need to start doing it, or it's going to be more mass shootings than that. I mean, again, just like you said, we have more mass shootings this year when we didn't even, you and I both didn't even know that, and until you said that, and I didn't even know it. So I think the problem is that we're not taking this mental health issue seriously, and it's really affecting a lot of most of Americans, and they fear for their lives because we never know who's going to be the next mass shooter that comes up, like grocery stores, shopping malls. We never know. So I think what's important that we have to try to get this background check in effect and check on a person's mental state. Because again, at the end of the day, and let's just say he has a mental problem and people didn't know he or she has a mental problem, and all of a sudden he buys an AR-15 or an AK-47 or a Glock and decided, okay, I'm going to shoot somebody today, and it happened. But yet, so he's suffering from mental issues. But yeah, y'all didn't do a background check on the person that you purchased a gun to. So that's what they need to focus on. And and to me, until that happens, incidents like this, like they did in Boulder, Colorado, is going to continue to happen unless they definitely do background checks and do it. If they do decide to do gun control laws, which if I hear it, I highly doubt that.
Okay. Let me apologize to Heavenly Dew. I had said the name wrong. Apologize. Heavenly Dew has made some good points. Edward had mentioned that all government is local, that when it comes to politics, it's what we do locally, which I totally agree with that point, that we need to be more involved in our local government, because really local government is everywhere. Local is where it all starts. Most of these politicians that get to the federal government level, they come from local government originally, right? They were probably state senators, they were mayors, they were all these different things, aldermans. And so we as a people really need to start looking at what we can do locally within our states. Now, obviously, we live in a country where some states are open carry and some states are not open carry, where you can't carry a gun, so on and so forth. So every state is different. But when you look at these southern, look, for example, all the southern states that are really drenched in gun rights, you're not going to change people's minds. I don't care how many people get shot in mass shooting. It's not going to change their minds. It's just not. And I think that the culture of guns in America, it runs very, very deep, very, very deep. And I think it's part of the culture. It's part of the attitude of American society. And I just don't think that it's going to change. I don't see it changing anytime soon. America has been raised on this type of culture. I still don't understand to the life of me why other countries that have guns don't have the level of mass shootings and things of this nature, and people using guns inappropriately as we have in this country. And we call ourselves the most civilized country in the world. And I still don't get that part.
Yeah, Info. People thought that we learned a lesson about the incident in Columbine. They didn't learn a lesson at all. We thought about what happened with Sandy Hook. They didn't learn a lesson at all. It's just that every incident that happened when it comes to mass shootings, the NRA always got their pockets doing politicians. And basically they try to downplay this. And then, and with this tweet, just like you referred to, the Second Amendment rights confirms what I've been talking about. That, the NRA cares only about themselves. They cares about, making money from gun sales, let alone showing compassion to the families that lost a loved one, or when it comes to tragedies like this. So, it's really they have to have taken personal responsibilities for what happened, but at the same time, it's to the NRA. It's all about making money. This is always all about. It's about making money, or how many gun sales they've been sold from customers, and that's basically it. They don't show no compassion. They don't show no sympathy to the families. All they think about is money. I don't think about how the almighty dollar, or which gun sales that's been revenue by the sales, selling guns and selling automatic weapons and whatnot. So at the end of the day, again, like I said, until there's been a push, until somebody fights against the NRA, they're going to do what they're going to do, and still nothing's going to be done about it.
No. Well, you can't. This is the thing. The NRA is entrenched in the politics of this country. The only way that you the only way you can make the NRA ineffective is that you have to do something about how campaigns are run in this country. Meaning, politicians need money. It does not matter who makes your laws in this country. He or she who controls the money controls the politician. The politicians are ruled by money. They need money to get elected. If they took money out of politics, if they said everybody's going to get one basic budget to run their campaign, that's it. You can't take special interest money. You can't take money from corporations. You can't take money here. We're going to give you one blanket budget. That's it. You go over that budget, that's your own damn fault. You better dig in your own pockets. If they had a control mechanism to control the flow of economics as it relates to, right now, how much it cost about, look, how much anybody in the chat room, anyone listening, whether it be in Twitch, Periscope, wherever, how much money, Lions Den, did it usually take to become president of the United States? How much money did Joe Biden have to generate to become elected?
That's the easy answer. That's the easiest answer I've ever heard, info. That's billions among billions of dollars.
So that means that the girl that works at a hot dog stand ain't never going to become president, because you got to have big income. So why do we keep telling our kids these lies? Oh, you can become no, you can become president. We should be telling our kids that you can become president someday if you become rich, or if you can get access to billions of dollars from corporations. Because other than that, telling ourselves that you can become president no matter who you are, that's a lie. You become president based on your connections that you have, the class that you come from, the money that you're able to get from corporations, what shoulders you rub with, things of that nature. So that tells you right there, that's what's corrupting the political system, is that you take the money out of it. Now, when the politician gets in office, he's not beholding, or she's not beholding to some corporation. For example, if I gave Joe Biden, for example, or any politician, $100 donation to their campaign, right? And you gave Joe Biden or Trump or whoever is running for president, let's say you gave them $13 million, right?
Yep.
And I gave them $100. Who in the hell you think they're going to listen to? Me, the man that gave them a measly, and I do mean a measly $100? Or are they going to listen to you, Lions Den, who gave them $13 million? You do the guess. I'll wait and see what the answer is. Time is up. Answer.
They're definitely giving to me the 13 million, because like you said, the more money a person has, the corporation has to the politicians, that's who the politicians mostly listen to.
Right. Well, remember, when these corporations or these super PAC, when they got these PACs and they got the corporations, the people don't give you no money without wanting something for their money. So if I say, hey, here you go, Joe Biden, here's my $100. I'm a student. I hope that you can get rid of all my student debt. And then you give him $13 million and you say, Joe Biden, I need you to make sure that I need you to make sure you don't pass medical care for all the citizens. I can't have you do that. I'm a big lobbyist from an insurance company, and I can't have you do that because it's going to hurt our bottom line. So if you do that, if we can get you to not do that, here's $13 million for you, and here's a couple of Knicks tickets for you, and you'll be able to. And then here's you'll have all the expensive paid vacations for the rest of your life, Joe Biden. Just make sure you don't pass certain things, because remember, I gave you $13 million. Now, if you call Joe Biden up, he's going to take your call before he takes my call for $100. And that's the truth.
Tell the truth.
That's the problem with politics in a nutshell. Let's see. Edward said, yes, it's not that difficult. It's all local, personal responsibility, and can't make that out. I get what you're saying. It's the individual. It's always up to the individual.
Personal responsibility.
Lions Den, what were you saying? You cut out.
Yeah, it's I don't know what's wrong. He says that it's not that difficult. It's all local, personal responsibility and the sovereignty of the individual.
Yeah. Ted Hicks said that. Then that's a good point. Ted Hicks said that Joe Manchin is always trending. He is without the doubt the most powerful senator. And
not
Mitch,
Schumer,
not Schumer,
McConnell.
yeah, he's a problem child. He's a problem child, though. That's the issue. He's a problem child. And then we have someone who came in. Obish came in saying hello from Nashville. Thank you for coming in, Obish. And then we've got, thank you, Clinton. Nyla Clinton has just sent me a very special reward. Let me say thank you. Thank you very much. You caught me live. I very much appreciate that. She's involved with the Video Club group on Facebook. She's the administrator. Thank you for coming on over and blessing us. And Tony D said facts.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the only way, or that's one of the only ways I see that you can sort of make some changes in politics if you could somehow take the money out of it, because the money is what corrupts everything. People don't do anything for nothing. They do stuff for money, for power, for influence. And money gives you power and influence over people. It gives it to you over politicians. Just that simple. So, but Lions Den, before we end tonight, you got any other words you want to bring up? Any other thoughts?
I would like to thank everybody for tuning in. And make sure to check me out every Monday, right here on Haps. We'll be talking about a lot of issues like politics, news, and everything. But I would like I said, thank you guys for tuning in for info on myself. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see each other soon.
All right, let me see. Let me check the other message here from Abyss. Abyss said, much to everyone's dismay, neither side of the political parties willing to execute money from politics or get rid of it from politics. Yeah, none of them, because they depend on it. But see, the reason why they won't, because people, the everyday citizen, we don't make enough noise about it.
Right.
Remember, they work for us. We don't work for them. As long as we continue to be silent, our silence is our consent to the bullshit that they do, because because people don't make enough noise about what's going on. So the thing is like this. I know there's some people who don't care about politics. Some people that say it don't matter. You can never make a change. As long as people are deaf, or blind, deaf, and are blind, are not seeing what's going on, the politicians will continue to do what they do. And where we can stop the politicians is we gotta stop electing the politicians who are corporatives, who are brought in soul, who are selling us unrealistic expectations. Soon as you spot them out, don't vote for them. They can't do what they do if you don't vote them in office.
Right.
That's the problem. We're putting them in office when we should be saying we reject these candidates. You go get us better candidates. We don't like them. We reject them. For example, I got a dream here. Check this out. This is how you can neutralize everything. Okay, every 4 years to 8 years, you have a candidacy for president, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if 1 year, let's say Biden runs against let's say Biden runs against Trump again in 2024, or Kamala Harris, whoever it may be. And let's say all of American citizens united and said, we don't like any of these candidates. So what we're going to do when we vote is we're going to put none of the above in the write-in section. And could you imagine this? This is my little dream here. Could you imagine on election night, you got CNN, you got ABC, you got Fox. They're all dolled up talking about this is election night. We're waiting for the results to come in. Could you imagine if nobody voted on either Republican side or Democratic side for nobody because we woke up as a people and said we reject all these candidates? What would that do to the system of elections? What could they do if there was no votes? Nobody voted at all. And they say Trump has 0 votes and Biden has 0 votes. Nobody is elected these fools. What would happen? What would happen to the system?
The system would have been broken.
But I know, but this is my thing because it's never been done before. How would they respond to that? It's just like the stock market. The reason why what they did with the GameStop was so powerful because for the first time in history, the little man took it to the big man in Wall Street and stuck it to their asses. And they were losing money. That's why they stopped the trading. Could you imagine if everybody woke up tomorrow and said, we ain't voting for none of these fools? And you got them people on CNN and Fox standing there and they're like, okay, let's see how many votes came in from Kentucky. Well, I'm out here in Kentucky and there's exactly 0 votes for Trump and exactly 0 votes for Joe Biden in Kentucky. Well, I'm out here in the District of Columbia. There's exactly 0 votes. I'm out here in California, George, and nobody in California has voted at all. There's 0-0. I'm out here in Texas and, in Texas, you don't mess with Texas, but right now, nobody's voting for nobody. Do you know that would cause a panic to the system? That would cause a panic to the elite that the masses did not respond to their manipulation.
Yeah.
The question is, what would they do? Would they have to do the election over again tomorrow night and the night after that? And what if nobody voted? What would they do? See, I'm too heavy for y'all. I'm too heavy. I'm too heavy duty for y'all. A lot of people don't think out of the box like that. I'm telling you, we, the people, hold all the power. You just saw it on Wall Street with the GameStop kids. You know how that happened? That was all the kids. No, not kids. That was all the young adults who played video games on Reddit, who decided, oh, you guys going to try to get rid of our game store? We're going to stick it to your asses. So they used Robinhood and they jacked the damn stock up. That was done by people playing video games. That was the people that did that shit. And the stock market didn't know how to handle it. They never had it. They were losing their money off their shirts, off their back. And they said, oh my God, we got to stop this. That was the little people sticking it to the big people, to the corporations. They stuck it to them hard. That tells me we can stick it to these politicians. They depend on us voting for them. If we don't respond like sheep to what they want us to do, they don't have any power. The problem in America is that too many people think like sheep. Too many people don't think outside the box. Too many people go along with the status quo and believe that somehow they're going to have a better tomorrow. Like I said yesterday, Lions Den, every couple of years we put a Democrat in office, we put a Republican in office, and the same thing happens to all of us. What do we always say, Lions Den? Don't seem like nothing changing. Yeah, nothing ain't changing. You got more money in your pocket? Nah, I ain't got no more money in my pocket. The rich guy, you got money in your pocket? Yeah, I got a lot of money in my pocket. It seems like the poor guy is getting nothing in his pocket. See, nothing's changing. Nothing's changing. Joe Biden gets in office, and the situation at the border has gotten worse. Even though the Republicans are blaming it on Joe Biden, but wait a minute. It was the Republicans that caused this problem under Trump. He didn't. He's the one that put him in those encampments. His administration didn't do anything to address that issue. Biden gets into office and he inherits it, but he ain't doing shit about it.
Right.
He's telling you and me, well, we're going to wait and see. Now, the question is, are you going to let 11 and 12 and 20 million? How many people do you let in this country across the border? And then I'm going to ask the question again, since this is news and talk. If you let all these people in, one, where they going to live? Two, where they going to live? Two, where they going to live? Two, where they going to get jobs? What social services are they going to pull from? We already got enough people in this country who are starving at night. We already got kids in America that we don't take care of, that are citizens born here. We don't do shit for them. Check this out. Check this out. Joe Biden's administration is already putting out $85 million to house and clothe and take care migrants, illegal, that are already over here. But you got homeless people in Los Angeles, California, particularly black people down there in Skid Row, and Joe Biden and none of these politicians, none of the black politicians or white politicians have done a damn thing for the homeless problem. Matter of fact, damn it, I gotta find. Hang on, because I gotta find something for you. I've got to find something on my phone. Let me pull this up. I want to read this to you. And then, Lions, I'm going to get your thoughts. Just give me 1 minute. Here we go. Here we go. More than 50% of homeless families are black. Government reports found this on ABC News. Joe Biden is spending $86 million on hotel rooms for migrants as his administration struggles to handle the surge of families and kids trying to come into the country. America's day one citizens, who are called Black Americans, among other names, represent 50%. I got this from a brother way ill. This is a brother that I got from Twitter who had this posted on Twitter. I'm using his post here. Black Americans, among others named, represent 50% of the homeless families in the United States, a high number for 13% of the population. In the same instance, Biden is spending millions on hotels and for migrants. Now, I said it. We got money for people who are actually citizens of another country that decided that they were going to come on over here. We don't know what their status is. We don't know whether they're criminals from where they're coming from. We don't know. Now, do I say that children should be treated poorly? No, I don't agree with that. But the thing is, there's something wrong when we don't take care citizens in this country. We got black folks that are making up a high number of this homeless, and we don't take care of those in the skid rows of our society. But we got money for people who A, are not citizens, B, they came over here of their own free will with no guarantee that they were getting in here, and 4, we don't even know what their real issues are. Are they a criminal? Are they running away from something that they did in their country? Criminal? Here in California, where I live at, Gavin Newsom, he's being recalled by the Republicans, folks. It's the Republicans that are behind his recall. It's Republicans that are behind it because Republicans want to take back control of California. They want to get control of California. They don't like what's going on. So they recalled him. But remember, during the pandemic situation, Gavin Newsom, he gave millions of dollars to illegals who actually not supposed to be here. Now, you may say, well, you're sounding real cruel right now. No, I'm not sounding cruel. I'm just laying out the facts. Why don't we take care of the people that we got here that are citizens that are struggling every day before we start taking on a whole nation of other people who come from another country, and that country is responsible for them? There is Honduras, all those Central American countries, they're responsible for those people. They really are. See, nobody wants to touch on that issue. They're responsible for them. Did nobody tell them to take that trip over there? See, I'm conservative on this issue. Did nobody tell me to take that? Look, for example, if I was to go to Mexico or any country in the world and said, I want in, if I went to France, because France is real tough like this. If I went to France and said, I want in, let me in, them people would deport me so fast. They wouldn't let me demand anything of their country. I mean, look at what they do to the Haitian immigrants who wash up in Florida. Guess what the Cubans do to them? Because the Cubans run Florida. When the Haitians come over or the black Cubans come over, what do they do, Lions Den? They send them right back.
Right back. Yep.
All right. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. They send the and check this out. If you really want to be honest, there are Haitians in Mexico who were told that they could come into the country, and America didn't live up to their goals to get them in the country. If anybody across that border has a right to be able to come up in this bitch, it would be the Haitians who were told that they would be able to come over here, and the United States government reneged on that. And they're over there with those that are behind the border that are over there from Central America. But you got the Haitians that were actually told to come on over. A lot of them other folks wasn't told to make that trip, but they were told. Mm-hmm. And the United States haven't done anything to rectify the Haitian issue. They haven't done anything to rectify how you got black folks from Cuba being sent right back to Cuba. Oh, let me bring this up. Remember, there were thousands and thousands of black men, Africans from Senegal and Sierra Leone, who were going over to Italy on all kind of makeshift rafts. And the Italian government rounded them all up. And what did they do, Lions? And guess what they did?
Ship them right back to
Africa. Take them right on back.
Tell the truth.
Take them right on back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what I'm saying to you, even within immigration in different countries and even in America, we treat certain immigrants different than other immigrants. Ha ha ha. Now, check this out. You got European immigrants who come over from Eastern Europe, right? They sneak over here too. How often do you hear about them sending the European immigrants who sneak over here by boat? How often do you hear about them sending them back? I'm waiting.
Nothing. We hear nothing. Zero.
Thank you.
Zero.
Thank you. Let me see what people are saying in the chat room, and then I might have to end the program tonight. I got off to a tantrum here. Let me see. Ted Hicks, I would assume that the previous uprising, when people tried to massacre power or mustard power, have been acquired and met by, I don't know. I'm gonna let that one go.
I think Abyss was saying that
I just can't see these messages that well right now.
Yeah,
what did he say? Go ahead. Go ahead.
It says that Abyss says so I guess to Ted Hicks that she said I will assume that previous uprising when people try to muster power have been squashed and met by retribution, which led to generations of frustration to rise up against oppression.
Right. And let me say this is coming out of your YouTube. We have 70,000 homeless people here. Stephanie Drew, I think, said that. If I'm saying the name correct, 70,000 homeless people. Wow. So, I might be sounding like I'm an old Scrooge right here, but you got to think about that. Do we have the resources and right now at this time to bring in 11 million or more people into this country?
No.
Right now, do we have it with the thing? And then with this COVID situation, we got a lot going on right now.
Right. I want to say this, Info, and the reason why I feel about this, and this is very important, I want people to listen to this as well. Joe Biden promised these immigrants, and I'm just being real, that they're going to harbor all these immigrants in this country. and it's going to hurt black people because obviously we're trying to get jobs, but the immigrants got all the jobs. So picture
Well,
picture. Go ahead, Fo.
well, I don't know if immigrants have all the jobs. Most immigrants that come over here who are uneducated, they're going to find themselves in low wage jobs, such as working in fields, they're going to be doing domestic work. Basically, they're going to find themselves doing the kind of work that black people did before they got over here. So, you know where it affects jobs? Let me take that back, Lions Den. This is where it affects jobs. Construction. If you go to some of the if you go to some of the southern states like North Carolina, where you have black men in particular that work in construction, you have these owners who are these people who own construction companies. What it does is it undermines wages. So if you got a owner of a business, he'll hire someone illegal and pay them less money to do the job that you would do for a little bit more money. Now, the question you got to ask yourself, because this is one of the arguments that can be made, do you blame the illegal immigrant, or do you blame the person who owns the business who hired the illegal immigrant?
Right,
because it's really the person that owns the business who is hiring. So if you want to neutralize illegals, because illegals come over here primarily to get jobs and get work, primarily, generally, okay?
Right.
But they wouldn't have any work if the people that own the businesses didn't hire them over you, Lions Den, right? So therefore, if you want to stop illegal immigration in terms of the workforce, then the federal government or the local government has to step in and put a heavy penalty on business owners. So you got to tell business owners, if we catch you hiring illegals, undocumented, we're putting you out of business. You're going to lose your business license, and we're going to make sure you never operate a business again. If you put that kind of fear into business owners, they're going to think first before they hire an illegal immigrant, someone who's not here legally, and give them a job under the table where they can undermine your pay because they know they got to pay you more money, Lions Den. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Let's see what's going on in the chat room real quick. All right. All right, everybody. We're going to end the show. I appreciate you coming over. Once again, I'm not trying to sound insensitive because the kids that are over there, they probably didn't ask to come over here with their parents. They got lost from their parents because Trump administration did a bad job with dealing with the kids and the parents and making sure they were together. But at the end of the day, we've got so many problems going on in this country. I don't know if we can absorb 11 to 20 more million people into the country, and it's gonna put another drain on the social system when we got people that are citizens in this country who are having a hard time getting social benefits that they need, and they're paying freaking taxes already. And let me see what Ted Hicks says. We have too many unskilled workers here. That's exactly right. I have to agree with you. Too many unskilled workers. True. You know, Lions Den, before I go, you know, there are some countries in the world that part of their, I know people not going to like this. People don't like this policy. Some people are not going to like this policy. But there's some countries in the world where they don't let you get citizenship unless you bring in some type of skills to the table. So there's some countries that open up the door to immigration, but they want people who are bringing skills, because in their opinion, they don't want to bring people in that they feel are going to drain the social system. Now you can say that that's bad, that's good. I don't like it. That means you're discriminating against people that are probably poor and uneducated, but that's just the facts. There are some countries that will let you in, but you got to bring a skill.
Right.
It's called it's the merit system. The merit system. Merit. And I know people don't like that system, and I know people are going to have criticism of that system, but that's how some other countries work, man. If you don't have no skills and you ain't bringing nothing to the table, they not letting you in some other countries.
They're not going to provide visas for those if you have any skills working in their business. So yeah, I agree with you there.
If I was to move over, if we both were to move to France tomorrow, eventually you got to learn to speak French, because if you ever traveled, I've traveled, I got a passport. If you ever travel in countries like France, there are parts of France where they look down on you if you don't speak French. In America, you can have people who come here and live here for years within their small little communities and never learn to speak English. You could never do that in another country like France. I couldn't live in Mexico. If I was to go live in Mexico, I couldn't live in Mexico I would have to eventually learn to speak Spanish. Because they're not going to cater to my language. I have to cater to their language.
Right.
So that's another thing that I think a lot of people that when you live in America, we're kind of sheltered by this. You go to other countries and you plan to live there, they going to make you learn the language or they going to kick your butt out.
Right.
Because you won't be able to function and the people are going to look down on you as an arrogant American. I'm not talking about somebody that goes over there as a tourist. Going over there as a tourist and being able to speak a little bit of French, you got your guidebook, you got your little translator, and you're talking about, oh, excuse me, I'm trying to get to that's different. They know your ass is a tourist. But if you're trying to live over there, straight up live, make a life for yourself over there, you got to learn how to speak French.
Right.
Because if you're trying to have a business over there, you're going to have to cater to the citizens who mainly speak French. So you see what I'm saying? You see, in America, we do things backwards. We make it too easy for people. You should learn the language. I can't tell you how irritating it can be sometimes, Lions Den, when you go to a store and you can clearly tell the person that you're dealing with can't speak English properly. And you're saying to yourself, damn it, am I in America? Well, where am I in another country? I mean, it's highly frustrating. Even when you're talking to people on the phone to get some help for something, you're like, oh man, this person can't even speak English. How did they get their job?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's hilarious to me, man. It's a trip. It's really a trip. All right. See, I told you, folks, I'm liberal and progressive on some issues, and I'm very conservative on other issues. See, so tonight I sounded like I was Rush Limbaugh or something like that. You know, that I can't stand him anyway. I should have never said his name. May he rest wherever hell that he's in. But you know, but Lions Den, it's a lot of crazy things going on in the world. I wish you a very good night, my brother. Take care. We'll do it again next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. You take care of yourself, brothers. Everybody out there, thank you for listening to the Information Man TV and my man Lions Den. Check out his YouTube channel. It's called Lions Den, aka Trey White, right?
No, it's Lions Den, aka Trey X.
Oh, that's right, aka Trey X. Lions Den, aka Trey X. Going out there and subscribe to his channel. I'm the Information Man. You can find me on YouTube at Information Man Show, and you can find my podcast at Information Man Speaks Podcast as well. You can find me on Google, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, everything. Let me see, TuneIn, everything you can find me on. And the material that you will hear on those platforms is totally different material. And I've got to drop a brand new podcast on there very, very soon. It's time for a new one to be dropped over there. So take care, everybody. I appreciate you listening to the program. We do live in a crazy world. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, but I just know that we live in a crazy world. So, Lions, and you take care of yourself, my dear brother.
Take care, brother.
All right. Peace to you.
Peace.
All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Let's get on out of here. Peace, everybody. Peace.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power. Tell the truth. Information is power.
Information man. Information man.
Information is power. Information is power. Information is power. Information is power.
Good night, everybody.